I never even had a conversation with him. I was told to just do whatever it took, to walk up to him one night in the parking lot and shoot him in the back of the head if necessary. I couldn't. I tried. I tried really hard. But I couldn't. So why am I hiding my identity now? I didn't commit a crime. Why should I be afraid? It's simple. There are others I must protect. I made a deal with the devil, and the devil will always get what he deserves. I used to think my life was hell. It's funny. I was just biding my time in hell's waiting room. That's the real hell. I tried to take shortcuts to solve my problems and ended up trading one nightmare for another. You see, I was married to well, it's probably best not to mention her name. I don't want it to get out to the wrong people. Let's just call her Bitch. That's what I call her. Men are so stupid. Some tramp comes in, spreads her legs, and the next thing you know, they're on their knees offering her their heart and thinking they're the luckiest guys in the world. I thought so too. Believe me, it wasn't. My heart was the only thing she wasn't interested in. She wanted everything else. She kept me happy and wealthy, bore me 2 children, and then this two-way love relationship turned into a one-sided and demanding endurance contest to see how much I could take before I broke. She would go out with her friends at night and come home late, then even later, and then not at all until the sun came up. She would put a pot of stew in the fridge, and the kids and I would be full all week while she went out. I started cooking normal meals so the kids could eat better. If I tried to bring it up, she would blow me off. I'm entitled to a little entertainment now and then. You've been missing home all day. You don't know what it's like. It's just a little entertainment. I have nothing to apologize for. The sex that had gotten me into this situation dried up, and I began an affair with Rosie Palm and her 5 sisters. On top of that, her spending was out of control. That's what that bitch did to me. I came home from work one night and she'd already made dinner. She outdid herself by cooking my favorite dish. After dinner, she said, "Honey, we need to talk." She sat down next to me on the couch and tried to speak lovingly and encouragingly. Her life was boring. She needed some excitement. He was no threat to me. I was still number 1 to her. She still loved only me. It would just be a little excitement while I was away at work. Hell no! I set the stage and the love talk turned to threats. I'll do it, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you want a divorce, I'll take everything you have and everything you'll ever have. You'll lose the children. The courts always give custody to the mother. I will get the house and you will pay for it. I will get alimony and child support. So don't be stupid, just go along with it. Besides, you've been happy for the last 2 years, so nothing will change. It's just that now you know. I took the first opportunity to sit down with a divorce attorney, and he basically confirmed everything. It was a no-fault state. Even if I had gotten proof of her cheating, it wouldn't have mattered much. She would get the kids, and I would pay for their upbringing. I could embarrass her in front of her friends and family, but her friends were no better than she was, and God only knows what her family was really like. I thought I knew them, but I thought I knew her. I couldn't let her raise her kids alone. She was toxic. She treated the kids no better than she treated me, and if left alone, she would poison those sweet, gentle souls and ruin their lives forever. I couldn't let that happen. I pressed my back against the wall and thought it couldn't get any worse. I was wrong. About a week later, I came home from work and found her having fun with her buddy in our bed. He was younger than me and bigger in every way. If I laid a claim on him, he would just beat me to the punch and finish entertaining my wife. "Oh, come out, will you? Wait downstairs, I'll be right there." Bitch. No, that won't do. That's not good at all. The bitch has to pay. She informed me that I should get used to it. The motel bill was too expensive and totally unnecessary. She was going to have it at my house, period. No, she wasn't. She sure as hell wasn't. Who was I kidding? Anything I did to stop them would lead me to either jail or the hospital. Both paths led to divorce, and that meant poverty. I packed my bags and left, and it did me a lot of good. I pondered for a few days but got nowhere. Eventually, I called a friend, I'll call him Jack, who was married to a horrible woman. One day, his wife just up and left. A year later, he got an uncontested divorce. I decided that if anyone could help me, it was him. We met for a beer in a quiet bar, and this is what he said to me. "What I tell you stays between us. Do you understand me? You never tell a living soul about it. Tell me what you understand." "I understand." "Swear it." I swear, my wife didn't just disappear, I made her disappear. It took a moment for that to sink in. Are you saying you killed her? No. I ordered her killed. He was serious. Whether he did it himself or was instructed to do it, I was sitting with a man who had killed his wife. I couldn't help it. I admired this man. How? You are sure you want to know. Once you know, once you take the first big step, you're ready. It's a contract, and you can't break it. Once you've made a commitment, you have to see it through. I have nothing to lose. Are you sure? People say that until they realize how much they really have to lose, and then they find they can't get out. You have to see it through to the end. Tell me about it. You meet once, face to face, and that's it. Nothing is written down, but there's a contract, and if you break it, you pay a penalty. How does it work? You place an ad in the Los Angeles Times, "Sad man seeks relief from grief." Then you leave a P.O. box where you can be reached. And then what? Then nothing. One day someone will come up to you, maybe outside your car, maybe at a coffee shop. Nothing is planned. It just happens. He says, "Are you?" You say, "Yes." He says, "Are you seeking relief from your grief?" You say, "Yes." Then he invites you to take a walk with him. You make a pact or you say no. What's the pact? Your wife will be killed. Either she will die or disappear. It will look like an accident. I thought for a while. I genuinely hated the bitch. How am I going to pay for this? That's easy. The fee is some money and your soul. You mean I'm making a deal with the devil? Come on, don't mock me. I'm in a lot of pain and you're playing with me. He's not the devil, but he may well be. They'll tell you to buy some antique or a painting or a boat or something. You'll pay too much for it. The antique will turn out to be a reproduction. The painting will turn out to be a fake. The boat will turn out to be leaky and so on. If anyone asks, it means you've been scammed. That doesn't sound so bad. I'm not done yet. These people are professionals, but they're more like accountants than assassins. You pay them and your wife disappears, but about a year later they come to you for the other half of the debt. They have a cheating wife or rapist husband to die for. That's when the second part of your debt comes due. What do you mean? They tell you who must die, and you kill them. That's how they kill your wife. Someone who hired them earlier pays the second half of the debt. I sat like that for what seemed like an eternity. Forever. That's what we're really talking about. I do this and my life is changed forever. My soul is marked forever. I will only gain freedom from evil if I accept the ultimate evil. I need to think about that. Yes, you need to. Understand me, it's a contract and you can't change your mind. If you change your mind, you become obligated and they don't accept obligations. You have to honor the contract. Do you understand? Yes. Now I've told you everything and we'll never talk about it again. Next time you see me, smile, buy me a beer, and we'll talk about the game. I never need to know what you've decided. Don't ever tell me. If anything happens to her, I'll just consider it a happy coincidence. Don't ask me anything else. Do it or don't do it. We'll never talk about it again. I thought for a moment, took a sip of my beer, and asked, "Who do you think will win the series this year?" That was the end of it, except for one moment. As my friend was leaving, I noticed a finger was missing on his left hand. I remembered when it happened. He said he lost it to a lawnmower blade about a year after his wife disappeared. If I wasn't sober before that, I was already then. The next day I came home and interrupted this bitch and her lover friend. She yelled at me. He smirked. I hit him in the ass with a stun gun. That made her shut up. I dragged his naked body by his heels down the stairs to the front door, then down the cement steps and into the front yard, his head bouncing on each step as we walked. I felt really good, but it didn't last long. He pressed assault charges and the bitch testified against me. I did 90 days in the county jail. When I got out, I was served with divorce papers and everything happened just about as she predicted. I had to live in a studio apartment while I paid the mortgage on a 3-bedroom house and child support and alimony. I wasn't allowed near the kids because I was considered abusive and dangerous. And here I am. That bitch kept her promise. She took everything. Worst of all, I loved my children and was deathly afraid they would grow up under her example. For their sake, I had to act. I put an ad in the Los Angeles Times, "Sad man seeks relief from grief," and left a P.O. box where I could be reached.